Welcome to the Gorgeous Gamer. Today on Exercise Basics 101, the side plank. Probably one of the best ab moves you aren't doing. An excellent core trunk move which helps focus on your obliques but also hits the shoulders, the hips, and builds balance and strength. Muscles working: obliques, shoulders, hips, gluteus medius and maximus. Benefits: you're strengthening 3 muscle groups at once by stabilizing the core, shoulder, and hips. Side planks protect your lower back and spine by working the deep muscles of the core while keeping the stress out of your lower back, like traditional planks, crunches, and sit-ups. Anytime we work stabilizers, we in turn are building and improving our balance. The obliques are often an ignored muscle group in ab programs, and especially unilateral style exercises, meaning one work at a time, are another exercise that is traditionally not found in most ab programs. Form: the easiest way to shift into side plank is simply by starting in a low forearm plank position and then rotating the body into side plank. Stack the feet on top of one another. Make sure the body position is straight. Your feet should not be out in front of you at an angle, and your butt should not be pushed back behind you. We're looking for very pretty lines here. Elbow should be in line with the shoulder. Line across the chest to the other shoulder, and then it is optional for the hand to reach towards the ceiling, which is a harder variation on balance, or resting it on the hip. In our midsection, our hips need to be up. Again, if we were to draw a straight line from our head following our spine all the way down to our toes, we should see a nice diagonal line, not a curve in the hips because our hips are sagging. Legs should be tight, butt is squeezed, and core is contracted. Feel your obliques working. If you're feeling this heavily in the shoulder, it is likely because of your arm position. If you're not rolling into a side plank from low plank and starting simply from a side plank position, start with your elbow a tad bit closer to your body versus already in line with your shoulder. As you can see, if I start out with my elbow directly under my shoulder and press up, my end position causes my elbow to now be out in front of my shoulder instead of directly under it. This causes all that weight to be on the shoulder rotator cuff. We don't want that stress in the joint. Modifications: there are lots of modifications that can be done in side plank to help build to a forearm side plank or even a high side plank. First, I would suggest on the knees. Like with our knee push-ups, nothing changes with form. We just shorten the angle to make it easier. The next modification would simply be unstacking the feet. So our top leg would be out in front of our bottom leg to help support with balance. We don't want to use our top arm to support for balance. By doing so, this will twist the torso and likely cause the hips to sag. Programming: work to 15 to 30 seconds for sets of 2 to 4 on both sides, gradually increasing your time. Do not do more time on one side than the other or more sets on one side than the other. Try to start with your weaker side and match what you do on your stronger side. Otherwise, you'll continue to increase the imbalance in your body, which then in turn increases the risk for injury. Once you can hold for 45 seconds on both sides for multiple sets, it's time to start with more challenging variants like a high side plank or hip pulses or other variations. Holding plank for more than a minute is no longer really stressing the body long enough or hard enough to continue to see progression, so it's time to add more variables and increase the difficulty to force the body to continue to progress.